This podcast is sponsored by Harry's. Go to harrys.com right now and enter the code BALDMOVE at checkout to claim your free trial set and post-shave. The Walking Dead on AMC. I'm Jim.
I'm Aaron.
And today we're talking about Season 7, Episode 3, titled The Cell. I think the name is pretty self-explanatory. I don't think we need to delve too much into why it's called The Cell.
It's all about the exploding LiPo batteries in the Samsung Galaxy line of phones.
Specifically in Jennifer Lopez's.
That's what they do. They put Daryl in there. And they slid in two galaxies in each rear pocket of his sweatpants. And you can just take your chances. Roll the dice, Daryl. Every day standing here is a day you might be waking up with a grenade in your pants. It's the psychological trauma of being stuck in the LiPo cell.
Yeah, it's rough. I don't. What do you think of this episode?
I've been on Easy Street the past 24 hours. Like literally, it's stuck in my head just in repeat.
Yeah, same here.
I thought this episode on first blush was kind of plotting, and I felt like it was poorly paced. And then watching it again for my notes and stuff just reinforced that. It's like, oh boy. Remember when I talked about my worst case scenario is they drag. Like I was hoping they would get to certain milestones in storytelling at the half season. I feel like I was silly, and that they're certainly going to drag this out.
Right.
And they're going to make this plot line last twice as long as it needs to be. And essentially, I think there was about 5 to 10 minutes of information that we needed to learn in this episode that was just banged home repetitively for the appearance of style. What did you think, Jim?
I'm going to give them a little more credit than that. I think they have to. They're trying to do a couple of things here. They're trying to establish Dwight's relationship with both Daryl and whatever the colony is called here that he's in with Negan, and they're trying to break Daryl. And both of those things, well, one of those things is difficult to do. One of those things is pretty easy, and I feel like maybe they overplayed the easy one, which is Dwight's relationship with the compound. It seems like they just time and time again were like, okay, Dwight is not really cool with everything that's happening here,
right?
But he's going along with it,
right?
And they hit that note 4 or 5 times during this episode to really just impress it upon you.
And then if you didn't get it, Negan came out and laid it all out for you,
right? Just
in case you're really fucking slow.
So heavy-handed. But then there's the other thing, which is difficult to do, and that is break Daryl,
right?
And I think that's kind of more where this episode shined. I don't want to say it was a great episode. I think it's the weakest of the 3 so far, probably. But I didn't dislike it, honestly. I enjoyed it.
The other thing is I wonder, like, if this was just the B plot of several episodes where we're checking at the Kingdom and at Alexandria, it wouldn't have been so bad. Like, I know people hate it when we do this, but it's instructive because, Game of Thrones and Walking Dead are in our top 3 shows as far as popularity and traffic. On just from a sheer ratings, they're a Walking Dead slightly more ratings. Game of Thrones might have slightly more critical cachet, but they're also the biggest shows on the planet.
Yeah,
I think if you go back a couple seasons to the Game of Thrones, there's a very similar plot line where one evil character, was trying to break another slightly less evil character. And they spread that out over several episodes, and even then people were like, wow, they're really belaboring this point.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm supposed to be getting out of this. If they rolled all of those scenes and just did one unrelenting hour, I think people would be like, what the fuck is this shit? Walking Dead, for whatever reason, seems like it wants to silo this shit up, and boy, a plot line like this week, it did not do anyone any favors, because getting a progressive reveal of like Dwight's feelings about Negan and his ex-wife over 3 or 4 episodes, when it's the subplot that you're just constantly checking into, might have been interesting.
Like you need to start these things off as B plots and graduate them to A plots if they warrant it. But
certainly, like the critical moments, you bring them into the plot line. But Daryl being broke is something that's going to take several. Because here's the thing: you spend all episode breaking Daryl, you didn't do it.
Right.
You end and there's been no real momentum in any way, except for maybe Dwight feels slightly shittier about being a Neganite. So 40 minutes of dramatic arc, and
they're out of dog food.
And they're Right.
That's pretty much it.
Right. The shit sandwich is going to be literally shit sandwiches going forward.
Yep.
I think that's the big indictment is like, wow, 40 plus minutes of this easy street stuff. And at the end of the day, Daryl still is Daryl Dixon.
Yeah. Yeah. And I guess that doesn't really add anything necessarily to the character of Daryl Dixon, right? We know he's stubborn. We know he's unflinching. We know he's not scared easily.
In lieu of all the things we know about Negan and his relationship and of power and the pressure points he can put on a person, I think it actually makes Daryl look very foolhardy.
Oh, I agree.
Like, there's a couple scenes this week where I'm just like, I can't fucking believe that Daryl is trying to do this. Like, I understand, like, you not wanting to break and not wanting to kneel, but you are rolling the dice with everyone in Alexandria's life.
Right. That's a super important point that I don't know if the writers are even going to address. Like, I want to talk about this at the end of the recap, but, like, maybe this is all just the impetus for Negan doing something to Alexandria again.
Could be.
And I don't know if he goes that way or if he just continues to try to break Daryl, but
right. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like, I kind of thought, like, what would have been interesting is if they wheeled in, like, I don't know, some dude from, like, Aaron from Alexandria. Perfect example.
Mm-hmm.
Someone who has a personal connection with Daryl, someone who's somewhat expendable, and, like, Negan's like, all right, lop off his pinky.
Mm-hmm.
You either do that right now, right here, or I kill him. Your choice. And now it's like, now you fucking kneel, or the next time I'm bringing someone in here and you're going to have to kill him I'm going to bring two, you get to choose which one you're going to kill. That would have been like, oh shit, but this is like felt very treadmill-y and...
Yeah, I don't know if that's the next step, but...
And again, I don't want to also start rewriting fucking, Walking Dead, that way lies madness, but...
But they have always had plotting issues, pacing issues with this show, and I feel like they're just continuing that trend, and... Maybe some people like it. I'm not one of them.
Definitely, I saw defenders on our forums and on Reddit.
Mm-hmm. Where I got one in email too.
Where people are defending the singular focus. But I don't know. To me, I've seen it done both ways. And again, I think people are like, oh, well, if you do it that way, then you're kind of stuck. But I'm like, I think slavishly following either of those storytelling methods is dumb. Like, you should definitely interweave the plots as much as possible, but when it's time for one to shine, then... And it becomes kind of an event, like, oh, shit, we're going to spend the whole episode here at Alexandria because stuff's going down, or, oh, my God, this is the one where everything's coming to a head at Negan's compound.
Yeah.
And you lose that when it's just these bottle episode after bottle episode, which I know these aren't technically bottle episodes, but
sure.
These standalone episodes.
Mm-hmm. All right, well, that's about all I have to say up front. Want to get into the recap?
Hey, before we get to the recap, I want to talk to our listeners about a few things. Got some bad news last week that Amazon has dropped us as affiliates, which means we can no longer raise money by directing people to use our affiliate link. Now, if you recall from my pitches, that made up about a third of our operating income. Which is if you lose a third of your income in any business, that's a problem. Now, if you go to save.baldmove.com, you go to a landing page that kind of explains all this stuff. We also shot a video that is interesting because it takes you and looks at like Bald Move's financials historically, and we kind of do a deep dive into like our monthly expenses versus income and kind of outline all this for you. But the upshot is we're doing a fundraiser to try to stay in business as a temporary measure. Like, we're hoping to raise enough money to essentially get us through the shortfall of next year, and then we can have some long-term solutions in place because we're looking into increasing our ad revenue and getting into merch to diversify our income. But in the short term, the here and now, we're also increasing our club rates. If you've listened to us for a long time, you know that we have been advocating the $1 a month model. And we've made that work as long as we possibly can, but we are at the limits of being able to offer our club for that inexpensively. Again, if you go to save.baldmove.com, you can see the ways that you can support Bald Move through this, I don't want to use the word crisis, but this tough time. But the fact is, if something doesn't change, if something doesn't give here, then we're looking at the end of Bald Move and closing our doors. So... if this is something that would negatively impact your life, if you'd like to see us continue on as independent podcasters and giving you the content for your favorite television shows, please go to save.baldmove.com and see what you can do to help us out. And we'd appreciate that in advance. So we get a big dose of Easy Street from the Collapsible Heart Club. Did you see the interview that I think The Guardian did with the creator of the song where I guess The Walking Dead out of nowhere asked to license it, and they're like, what the fuck do they want to use our song for? And then they see it, and it's like, well, of course you're going to torture someone with it.
Yeah. That makes sense. That's cool.
But I also thought it worked, like, there's a couple of things of this episode that I thought really worked, which is, like, showing Dwight's day and how it's, like, so much better than we've seen for years and years. Like, he's getting to watch reruns of Who's the Boss. He's playing drinking games with a fairly uninterested-looking woman at over air hockey. He's carving a chess set. He's making bomb-ass sandwiches. But then you start to see the oppression and people getting beat down, and then him, you know, I think we're supposed to understand that number 39 was the dude that was stripping his shirt off and getting chesty over rations, and then they probably killed that guy, put him up on the wall, and then Dwight's ransacking the family's bunk.
Right.
And then everyone having to bow to Negan, and then the music just drop as Dwight sits down to enjoy his decidedly not shit sandwich, his deluxe BLT sandwich. The music drops out, and you see some sweatpants-clad Neganites putting out fresh zombies on their wall, and there's this really impressive effect of the zombie continually falling down and getting up with this pipe sucked through it, like a Sisyphean task. And that's kind of what we're left with Dwight as we go into the credits. He also comes back and makes Daryl a dog food sandwich.
Right, which Daryl happily eats.
Yeah,
no problem,
he's
man.
stripped down naked. We find out Dwight's wearing Daryl's angel wing vest now. Really shitty situation for our hero to be in. But I thought this intro was like pretty strong. I was pretty pumped when I was watching it.
It was okay stylistically. I don't think I liked it. What they were doing with these triple cuts, these triple repeat shots, that didn't feel right to me at all as someone who has done video editing in the past.
Right.
That felt like an intern got a hold of this clip and
somebody's like, why? That is a curious choice. It's like they plus something that actually took something away. Like you can do quite a bit of addition by subtraction just by avoid. I think they were trying to make it even more sing-songy and like almost like a Mentos, nobody fresher than you kind of.
No, I get where they were trying to go. It just didn't work for me personally. But eating the greatest post-apocalyptic sandwich ever, I feel is the thing that worked best in this, because I actually don't. I don't know if they were actually in this scene trying to juxtapose the lifestyle that he has versus the lifestyle Daryl has, because he's not seeing things that are all that great. I mean, sure, he can carve some chess pieces and he can play a drinking game, but step out of line and you're the guy with no shirt.
Right.
And you're out on the wall. Like, that becomes very obvious. So I don't know that I feel...
I think that's what you're supposed to, like, again, you're supposed to think, oh, well, life at Negan's compound's not that bad, and you keep pulling out and seeing, the horror. Like, his lifestyle is being subsidized by a lot of human misery.
Yeah, I suppose so.
And even himself, he's having to swallow his own shit sandwiches. And it just keeps getting worse. You find out he gets worse and worse of a deal. And that's the other, I think, problem with the storyline is, like, hitting all this stuff up at once. Like, there's progressive revelations that we get about Dwight's character in the comics, but it's not all at once. And it's like, at the end of the episode, I'm left wondering, like, why the fuck are you following this guy? Like, really, death is worse than giving your wife up to some fucking madman?
I guess so.
That just ironed your face, too?
I guess so.
I guess.
I don't know. I mean, death's pretty bad.
It has
pretty final
finality to it.
Yeah. So what did you make of this sort of gauntlet thing outside of the fence? Because at first watch, I had no idea what they were doing.
Either. I think that
I thought they were playing some kind of forced game, like gladiatorial type thing.
Right, and they had everybody ranked. I still don't know what the rankings are either, because it wasn't. I thought it was like maybe A through F, but I saw a guy running around with an S out there.
Yeah. So it seems like these are.
They're named after the home row of a keyboard, ASDF.
Right. These must be guys who are working for points, right?
Or maybe they're in a points deficit, and that's how you get...
Yeah.
Like, because it seems like their job is that Negan his walled compound has a very clear era Morgan aesthetic.
Yeah.
That you've got lots of jaws and bites and nails that are between you and the people that want to get to you.
Makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
Putting fresh meat out there is a dangerous task, so you get some sweatpants, clad goons to go out there and do it. And it seems like they put a bucket on a zombie's head, lash him to the fence, and unleash the bucket and try to get out of there without getting bit or scratched.
Seems like a decent plan. But yeah, I don't know what their status is because they're in the same outfit that Daryl is in, just with different letters.
Right, but they're not making Daryl do any of this stuff.
Right, and I don't know that they even could. Honestly.
Right. And how many people are getting the easy street treatment at any one time?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's interesting. And can you bypass that? Like if Negan comes in like, fuck yeah, I've been waiting for an asshole like you to take over and I want to sign up for your newsletter and do all that stuff. Like, does Negan let you? Or is there a mandatory period of time where you got to be on easy street? Besides Negan, I'd worry about the false conversion. Mm-hmm. Like, to this point, like, when Daryl finally converts, if he finally converts, because he's not, he's not a comic book character. How the hell would I know?
Right.
What does that look like? And if you're Negan, how do you trust him?
I would never trust him.
Yeah, right.
But maybe Negan... I do wonder about that, because I have some other notes in my... other things in my notes here about, like, specifically that... whether like he just has overconfidence in the amount of fear he's instilled in people or the system he's set up,
right?
Whether he's totally oblivious, is he just maybe biding his time on? Because Dwight is in this exact situation, right, where he is a proclaimed loyalist, but it seems like he's not totally cool, as he says.
Right, and I'm really craving a scene where maybe Negan can tell us, like, I understand what a house of cards this is, but here's my plan, and here's the psychology, and here's how I keep these. Like, because you see, like, a lot of these, there's a talent to being a ruthless dictator. You got to have like this class of insanely loyal people that you treat like gold and have these huge advantages, and that they could lose by betraying you.
Mm-hmm.
So you just, first of all, you're ruthless. So if anyone steps out of line, you find out they're going to be dead and they're going to die screaming. But secondly, it's such, it's such a easy street to be on that don't fucking rock the boat. And like, I want to see like Negan kind of explain or articulate that he's got the awareness and he's actually very smart. Because we got a little bit of that with him dealing with Rick, but in his own people, I think that took a little bit of a back seat for me anyway.
Yeah, I always just wonder like what the scenario is. It feels, it reminds me of like Klingon
Maybe we can have
culture.
a tribe called Quest in here to explain it all.
But it reminds me of like Klingon culture in Star Trek,
sure.
where like you're kind of encouraged to kill the person above you. Like,
and it looks awesome for 5 minutes at a time, but you think about like, what does the Klingon Olive Garden look like?
Well, the endless pasta bowls just keep everybody docile.
It's just kapla. It's this isn't moving. It should be alive. And he flips the table, and the bat flecks come out of the.
But like
the dishwasher grabs a dagger and stabbing the customers. It's just that's not going to work.
All it takes is one guy to just say,
sure.
I'm going to get close to Negan. I'm going to kill him. And then, what is the incentive of everyone else to kill that person? Like. Well, they're not actually loyal. They don't love Negan. They just are cowed by Negan.
If Negan dies, I think that is a very real possibility, because if the way the old stuff worked is you'd have like divine right to rule, and that family you'd have to wipe out the whole family, and without absence of that, you just have this cult of personality, and it'll last as long as that. And there's also very little cult in the personality. Like, this would be more explainable if there was a religious thing that he was doing. Like, if he's like a David Koresh type or
maybe these guys are just entertained
Manson type
by like his pee pants routine. Maybe they love it. And
they get to eat really awesome sandwiches and get free passes to the pussy buffet and
that's true.
Whatever. Like, I mean, again, that's the thing. Like, it's there's a formula for holding power as a despot, and I think that Negan's doing it. I just wish we saw evidence that he was more self-aware, and like, how did he set that up? And
well, there's a scene in here where he goes to Dwight and is like talking about the pussy buffet,
right?
And it seems like he's on to Dwight.
A little bit.
But then later on, it
He's
seems
not.
like he's not.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's him just putting that on the back burner and biding his time on the whole situation.
And also, I didn't
or
like
bad writing.
Honestly, I didn't like the blue shirt dude, the Code Orange, who says, "What? This guy comes along with a baseball bat and a smile, and we like." This was a pre-establishing culture or civilization, and Negan just waltzed it. Like that's not how I saw the evolution of this society at all. Like I think. Like
Right.
I think we talked about that in the last week's podcast. Like essentially that Negan found a whole bunch of Joes and the Claimers, and like one by one, systematically with luck and guile, attracted a group that's strong enough that there was no individual group that could stand against him, and then he kind of took power by default. This is almost like, he waltzed into the compound with his baseball bat, and I guess Rick did that with Alexandria, so maybe that's a good like a slightly. Because Rick could have done the Negan routine, he just had enough humanity within him not to. Yeah. But I don't know. I kind of want to hear more about how Negan took over.
We might get that.
We might get 3 episodes of it.
Maybe
might get too much of a good thing. Okay, so we wake up again to Easy Street. Daryl's looking really bad. He gets more dog food sandwiches. He's issued a sweats with the letter A. The letter A is very important to this show. It started with the train cars. They then continued that thing going with Alexandria and who was the little kid that Carol was always going to tie to the
I don't know, Cookie
the
Boy.
tree screaming. Cookie Boy, he was stamping people with A's. Now Daryl's got an A.
Mm-hmm.
What does it all mean?
I wish I knew. I
It's a
don't
yellow
know.
A, not a red A this time.
Right.
Very bad readability.
Is it an orange A? Is that
You don't
possible?
print yellow print on a light background. That's just design 101, Negan. Like a red A would have been fine. A green A would have been fine. A black A, of course.
Yeah.
Like what the fuck is this yellow A on light gray sweatpants?
A lot of people are so this doesn't line up to me with Cookie Boy's printing of A, stamping of A on Rick, but like a lot of people say it represents captivity or something like that, which in the 2 cases of like Terminus and here, sure, but what about Cookie Boy?
Right. That was an include, almost like you're part of the. Well, I mean, it was explicitly said you're part of the group.
Yeah, so I don't know.
I don't know. We meet Dr. Carson, who is going to be looking after Daryl's gunshot wound. He's also currently seeing Dwight's girlfriend, or I guess ex-wife, Sherry, and she reveals that her test is negative. And he's like, well, maybe next time. Then she recognizes Daryl and tries to talk to him, and he shuts that shit down. The doctor says your wound will get better, and Negan will take care of you. Trust me. 1 out of 1 post-apocalyptic doctors agree. Negan is a vital part of your healthcare routine. But what is the negative test? I assume pregnancy.
Yeah.
Could be STD.
Pretty sure it's pregnancy. I don't think he'd be like, hey, better luck next time.
If Negan doesn't have herpes,
yeah.
he says, like, I would bet a lot of money that he does. But yeah.
And also Dwight wouldn't be like, oh, well, maybe next time.
I don't know I mean, yeah, Jesus. Like, he's really bought into this whole cult of personality. If you're like, oh, maybe the boss will knock you up next time.
Yeah, I don't know.
And they're staring at each other. I forget who. There's a writer on Vox that said they stare at each other in these scenes like 2 candy bars who can't eat each other or something like that.
Yeah, that's about right. But I think they're, him saying maybe next time is kind of not a jab at her, but like a jab at their situation, right? Like neither of them want to be in this situation.
It's like a passive aggressive jab at the whole thing.
Yeah.
And maybe he would rather die, and she's the one to stop. I mean, there is some interesting relational depths to mind to this,
and we haven't quite gotten the full picture yet.
Right.
But it's we're getting glimpses.
Daryl's then taken to a room which I first thought was Negan's room, but it seems like it's the room that Daryl will inherit should he just fucking kneel and say that he's Negan.
2 thermoses. 2 thermoses.
I bet they're the Yeti jobs too. I would kneel for 2 Yeti thermoses.
I mean,
is that it? Yeti? Is that the thing? Yeti?
Yeti? I don't know.
Is that the $30 stainless steel vacuum? Blah blah blah. There's like a particular thermos that everybody's fucking going crazy about.
The coolest.
It's not
That's
the coolest.
cooler.
It's not the coolest. That's the cooler.
Yeah.
Then he shows Daryl the other job he can have, which is either being the guy who stocks up the fence for the walkers, or being the walker that's stocked up on the fence,
or being him. I don't think the writers are as slick as they think they are with their
Right.
dialogue. They're like,
you
can be like them,
or me,
or
them,
or that. Yeah, come on.
Yeah, I thought the same thing.
It's right back to the we're not them. They ain't us.
They ain't us. I wish Daryl had done a little bit of that.
Here's not here. Like they always
you
do.
ain't me.
They try and get these like quippy turns of phrase, and they never work.
I mean, sometimes they're fighting with both hands tied behind her back, where you got mother dick and
those work the best.
And
for
that's
me.
what I'm saying. Like they kind of work in a round the back kind of fashion, but yeah, this wasn't the crispiest of dialogue.
Yeah.
So Daryl says, "Look, I ain't ever gonna kneel," and Dwight says, "I said that too." And Daryl comes back with, "Yeah, I know," and he goes, "Oh, but you don't, but you're gonna." So
yeah, I guess everybody bows when they see Negan. They kneel.
That's kind of cool.
It's cool, but I always have questions about the logistics of these protocols. Like,
right.
if he turns his back on you and you stand up and he turns back around, you have to kneel again.
I don't know.
When is it appropriate to kneel and when is it not?
I don't know. I mean, it's like
I'd be worried about that if I were these
that's
people.
solvable problems. Most military outfits have solved when it's appropriate to salute and not salute, and all. So I feel like you could solve those problems.
You could. I just think a few people are going to taste Lucille or be tasted by Lucille.
That might be a feature, not a bug.
Yeah, maybe.
Like every once in a while you want to beat the shit out of somebody. So Negan opines that Daryl's going ape shit, and the work that Dwight's doing to break Daryl is working slow, but what are you going to expect when you got a grade A, yellow A on a gray backdrop A Daryl that you're going to have to break. Mm-hmm. He says, "You've been doing such a good job that why don't you have a blast from the past with you-know-who," which I guess he's offering her a ride on his Negan's current wife?
Or testing him? I think
it might be a test.
Yeah.
I
don't think he's serious about that offer, but I think he's serious about the other offer. But then it's not an offer that it's not a thing he's giving him, because he's like, pick whoever you want as long as they say yes. So it's not like...
So it's this big thing that you're supposed to, is Negan anti-rape? And if he is,
it seems like it,
does he consider not dangling a life-saving medication over someone's head? Is that not coercion in his mind?
Right. Is what he's doing to Sherry not rape? Like,
I mean, what does consent mean to Negan? That's the question.
And especially when he's like, you take whatever you get, or you take what you want. Like those things, those two philosophies, as long as she says yes and take what you want, are not compatible.
Yeah, you would think so. Then he goes and he makes light of Eugene clomping on his dick, which to be fair, was super funny.
I don't buy it. I don't think he's fine. I think the whole reason he doesn't go for it is because his
dick, like those warning stickers they put on like big industrial gears. It's like the international, like it has, like it says like a no sign, and then it shows a normal hand going into the gears, and it comes out looking like an escalator. Like I think that's what Dwight's dick looks like right now. It looks like a broken escalator that's just collapsed and probably killed a few families. And Dwight tries to laugh it off and say, "Hey, I haven't earned it. You're giving me a reward for the job I haven't completed, and in fact, I want to take another shit job," which is we hear Code Orange be declared, and they said that he's either gone the moth, the angel, or the hard way, which I thought was kind of interesting, especially since we see the angel.
Okay, with the arm,
and I'm like,
which is creepy as fuck.
I'm guessing the hard way is the main gates is just surrounded by chomping and champing and clomping of all kinds of dicks and bits. What is the moth? I want to see the moth now.
Yeah,
I think the angel was quite literal. What the fuck is the moth? Like, I want to know.
It's Fat Tony's closet.
And then so he when Negan says, I thought Negan was going to kiss him straight on the mouth when he pulls him in to like do their forehead like conehead bonding ritual thing. I don't know. And also I don't know why Negan is so delighted to have this guy very ambivalently and nervously and weaselly acting towards you.
Yeah, well, he says good boy at the end, which is interesting because you see...
Treat him like a dog.
Yeah, the dog food that he's been feeding to Daryl.
Yeah.
Well, Dwight's no different. He's just living in better conditions.
Yeah, and boy, I again, I don't. Is that Negan being smart? Is that Negan being dumb? Is it dumb that you would go around this guy who could just slip a knife between your ribs? Like, why doesn't Negan have like 2 or 3 guys with him at all times? Like, I feel like that's Dictator 101 too.
He might be overconfident. Yeah.
You don't ever want the numbers to be like, you got to always have to worry about the numbers if you're going against me. Anyway, so Fat Joey is assigned to be the feeder whilst Dwight is away.
Oh, he fails.
He fucks it up, but doesn't really, because this was a test. He doesn't lock the door behind Daryl, and Daryl decides to escape. And I want to talk about how phenomenally stupid this makes Daryl look.
Okay.
Why are you escaping?
Right.
What is the goal to which you are trying to achieve? Because your extra body at Alexandria doesn't change the math one iota. It just means that Negan is much more likely to take his death squad and exterminate Alexandria. Like, escaping, I don't know what he thought he was going to get. Like, if he tried to commit suicide, I'd be afraid in a situation to commit suicide because of what he might do to the survivors for depriving him of his
shit sandwiches. Yeah.
And this is just like in the offing when Glenn's death is fresh in his mind. Like, I don't get it. Like, is this supposed to be admirable?
I think so.
Is this Daryl being Daryl?
Yeah, it's strange because it feels like he is making those decisions for everyone else.
Right. And that's
by being so defiant.
They hammered it home so well about how this is not just you, this is the community that's going to take the brunt of your punishment, and suddenly now it's all about you and your individual torment.
They need to make him pay for it. I mean, if this show doesn't make him pay for what he's done here, for his defiance against Negan, then I don't have any faith that the show even understands the situation.
I have a problem with him being as stupid as he is, but don't worry, this plot actually gets dumber.
I don't. I mean, I think Daryl's character might just be this defiant.
Really?
Yeah, and consequences be damned. But if there are no consequences, then show be damned, because I won't buy it.
My greatest hope is that Daryl. My greatest hope is that Daryl would do all this calculus in his head and understand. Like, he could feel helpless and outraged and suicidal, whatever, but I think Daryl's smarter than this. If not that, then yes, the show has to have some kind of consequence, and it's probably going to be something we don't like.
I think he's one part smart, one part stubborn, and I don't know which wins in a situation like this.
All right. Dwight's now pushing a motorbike down the road because he's off looking for the code orange, and he's pushing it down the road for some reason. At first, I thought it's because he didn't want to drive through the zombie slick.
Is that true? I think that's true.
I don't know why. I mean, it didn't look.
I don't understand any. I mean, I have a good idea of the scenario and what happened, but there's some things.
Yeah, like I've had a bike fall over on me, and it didn't just completely destroy the front end of my bike.
I think it was walkers. I think they implied that the walkers both ripped the spokes of that wheel and also bent the rims.
No, I'm sorry.
Because when he drops it over on its side, like, I thought, something must have happened and I missed a scene where he hit a rock.
Yeah.
Like a series of rocks.
Right.
That all, and then he accidentally ran over a branch that went in his spokes.
Like, if they showed him hitting a guardrail and he went flying 50 feet in the air, like, that would, and then, because he also acted like really fucked up too. Like, I feel like on the cutting room floor is a scene where he took off after this guy and lost control and rolled it, but that is missing in the final cut.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It makes it super confusing, and that is the Walking Dead MO, in my opinion.
Was this
we
car
need something
wreck?
to happen.
Was this
so
the
it
Code
happens.
Orange? Did he steal a car? Was this car? Is
No, I think what happened here is this car drove off the ramp, the top bridge,
and landed on the ground.
Landed on the ground. Maybe some zombies underneath it and crushed him.
Of course, because any falling thing, it's Newton's law. You have to have zombies underneath it.
And then maybe some of those zombies burned and melted and got real gross on the pavement. And then zombies kept falling over the edge like a waterfall.
It's a perpetual motion machine,
breaking themselves on the ground.
But anyway, this all happens as you describe, and zombies start dive bombing him from above. He gets knocked to the ground. Things start falling to shit. He has to use his pistol. And next time we see him, he's fucked up and pushing an even more fucked up motorcycle down the road. But we're not there yet.
I love the dangling arm walker.
Oh yeah,
That thing is disgusting.
Yeah, that made like I know they don't feel pain, but that made me hurt. Like you got exposed ends of broken bones, grinding and snapping, and it's a horror show.
Yeah.
Sherry of all people finds Daryl. Daryl, in his high alert, I'm sneaking through the dread enemy's fortress mode. I should not be able to be snuck up on at all. And this woman wearing stylish clothes,
who we've seen her skills in the woods, not great.
She sneaks up on Daryl and takes him by surprise.
Yeah.
What the fuck is she doing in the prisoner section? How has she got this free movement? How is she able to find him when no one else can? How can she sneak up? All these questions I would like answers to, and I'm not going to get a single one. But she grabs him.
None of these questions the writers have thought about or care about.
She grabs him and says, whatever he has done to you, there's always more. You won't get away, and when you're back, it'll be worse. And Daryl's like, fuck you, and goes off to a motorcycle corral, but then immediately gets ambushed by Negan and his men.
Right.
Negan asks everyone, who are they? And they say, Negan. And he goes, I'm everywhere, and this was your shot to prove that you knew it, and you done fucked up by trying to get out of your unlocked cage.
I'm still really liking JDM's Negan.
Pretty good.
He's just killing it.
A little bit goes a long way. Having him give like 3 vaguely similar speeches is something that I'm not sure is going to work out in his favor.
Okay.
He says, you work for me, you work for points, or you work on the wall. There is no door number 4. Then he threatens to beat him with the bat, and Daryl doesn't flinch, which impresses him for some fucking reason. Because he doesn't scare easy, even in the face of death. But he's still got to pay a price, so he has the gang jump him, and they beat the shit out of him.
Mm-hmm. Better than the iron, I guess.
Better than the iron. Dwight's bike, as we discussed, is all kinds of fucked up, and he's still pushing it. We don't really know how it got that way. But then he finds the code orange getting strangled by a zombie and goes off to help him. Sherry, again, wanders into the prisoner complex and decides to talk to Daryl and apologize and say, you said that I was going to be sorry one day, and I am, which all things that Daryl already knew. He already prophesied these things. I don't have any connection to Sherry.
Neither do I.
Like, this is like bombing really hard for me as a viewer right now.
Yeah.
Dwight shows... Oh, speaking of bombing, Dwight shows up with Blue Shirt Chicken Man, who I recognize my second watch as a guy we saw kind of scowling in the background as Dwight is collecting his egg for his his egg bacon sandwich. And he says, we used to be friendly, and oh my God, you're supporting him after everything he's done, especially to your wife. And he says, I'm not kneeling anymore. And then he gets on his hands and knees to have Dwight kill him, but Dwight refuses and threatens to kill everyone that he's ever been friendly with and dig up his his dead wife and feed her to the crows, which makes Blue Shirt get up, and then Dwight kills him anyway. I thought everything about the scene was redundant and poorly acted. Like, I don't think Dwight's great, and this guy in the blue shirt is like, fuck you. You haven't been living in this world for 3 years, man. You rolled out a central casting that threw a denim shirt on you and called it good. And maybe you rehearsed your lines 2 or 3 times. I wasn't impressed.
Yeah.
And then the music starting up at the end, trying to make you feel like that's the kind of music if we had gotten 8 episodes of the Dwight and blue shirt guy, or we actually felt like this was a betrayal or whatever. This was just the emotion relies on how much I sympathize with Dwight, and I'll tell you, 0%. 0% I sympathize with Dwight.
Right. Yeah. He seems like a real asshole.
Daryl tried to show him a better way last season. He fucked Daryl, and now this is all his fault. Everything that's happening is his damn fault. So fuck fuck Dwight. I'm getting on to fuck Daryl wagon. This is a disaster.
Okay.
Anything you want to add?
Well, I mean, he must have struck a nerve with that "you won, but you know there's nothing left" line, because that causes him to shoot him in the back.
I guess a mercy killing.
I don't know about that. I think it was more like out of spite. Like, fine, fuck you. You're right, but take this.
Well, he's got to bring him back. He can't shoot him in the head because he knows Negan would be pissed.
Okay.
I feel like unless this guy had in his backstory that we're supposed to give a shit about, like was like some kind of like, believer in the afterlife. Because I don't necessarily. I'm more of a Jim guy, like season 1 Jim. Like, I don't really particularly find it abhorrent to be resurrected as a zombie. I mean, if I had my choice, I'd rather not because I might hurt other people. Mm-hmm. But if I die in this world and become a zombie, like that's not going to keep me up at night. Like, like I'm dead, I'm gone. I think there's like the show could have suggested that there was still something of the person locked away in there, and I feel like the door is slammed pretty hard shut on that. Mm-hmm. So fuck it. Like I guess I just don't care. I don't know what's tragic about the fact that this guy's now strapped to the wall. His torment in Negan's camp is over, in my opinion. Right.
Yeah, I guess so.
So unless he's being chained to Earth and not able to go through the pearly gates or whatever, I don't know what the. To me, it felt you said you thought that Dwight was pissed. I thought he was trying to show compassion in this moment.
Okay. I don't know. What do you think about Dwight's threat? You think? I feel like telling someone you're going to do something after they're dead is a little suspect. It smacks of a bluff to me. Because what's the point? Like, after they're dead,
that
what's
does
the
motivate
point?
me. Like, if you say, like, I'm going to be a zombie, okay, whatever,
sure.
you. But if you say, I'm going to kill your wife and child and everyone that you love.
But do you believe he's actually going to do it?
Dwight, no. Negan, yeah. Like I think Dwight's saying using this with his I words,
he's Negan,
but he's actually saying these are things that Negan is going to force us to do.
Right.
I mean, that's me reading between the lines.
So.
I don't really have any conclusive proof about that.
Mm-hmm.
But then we have a scene where Dwight and Sherry share some cigarettes in a staircase, and he asks if Negan's good to her, and she says yeah, and she asks if he's happy, and he goes, yep, this is better than being dead. This whole 5-minute scene, you're supposed to draw the opposite conclusion that these both are people that would be better off dead, mm-hmm. and that are enjoying a negative life existence right now. But we also had the previous 30 minutes beating that in our head.
Right. There's a certain sense of like A, sadness in this scene, and B, a tinge of animosity, I think, between these two, which I like.
Like I said, passive aggressive behavior.
Yeah, which I almost feel is acceptable in this situation. Like,
sure.
Neither of them want to be dead, apparently.
Right.
Neither of them really want to do the things they're doing, but it, like Dwight says, it's preferable to being dead.
It's one of those things where they like Dwight would rather be dead, but he thinks she'd rather be alive, and vice versa.
Right.
Because like it makes it seem like that it's Dwight's idea to come back. It was Sherry's idea to marry Negan to keep Dwight alive, mm-hmm. and it was Dwight's idea to let himself get burnt in the face to seal the deal. It's kind of like the gift of the Magi. Like, maybe you should just keep your hair, and I should keep my pocket watch and call it good. But now I got a chain and no watch, and you got a silver comb with no hair. Mm-hmm. Like, let's not kill each other.
Right.
This metaphor really got tortured at the end.
Yeah, I don't know.
Metaphors on Easy Street.
I kind of like this scene. I like the stew of, like I said, animosity, sadness, and the care that I think they feel for each other.
Yeah.
The loyalty and the love.
Do you think this will end up in some outright aggression? Because
maybe.
I don't know how.
So.
This could get old pretty quick.
Sure.
Like the staircase meetings of passive aggressiveness and unspoken thoughts.
She might just
get
tired of him bumming cigarettes. I mean, they've got to be valuable. How many points is a cigarette in the apocalypse?
Well, I think they're both on the points-free system. They're just living off Negan's large.
Still, can't just
That's
get
the other
cigarettes.
thing. Like, if Negan says, hey, man, you just got invited to the cigarette bar. It's happy hour, and you're smoking for free. Mm-hmm. Like, would he... Like, is there a number of cigarettes that you could smoke with which Negan will pull you aside and be like, hey, man.
Right.
It ain't unlimited.
Yeah.
It's all you can choose to smoke, not all you can fit. Like, this whole pack in your mouth at one time, like, that's just being wasteful, man. Like, do you think he has to, or do you just get beat to death?
You can't even enjoy them that way. No, this is like...
You're passing out due to oxygen deprivation. You're not enjoying any of this thing. You're just being an asshole, man.
I've seen Land of the Dead. This is like Fiddler's Green, where... liquor is a very valuable thing, and I imagine cigarettes would also be valuable.
Yeah.
Because even though there are a shitload of them, you smoke through them pretty fast.
There's less every year. There ain't no big tobacco farms anymore.
Yeah.
Not in the East Coast anyway.
Speaking of which, because I mean, tobacco farms would be a pretty wasteful thing to use your resources on in the apocalypse.
Well, we know Negan had a marijuana grow operation using artificial lighting. I don't think he gives a shit about that.
Right, and I was also going to say they have houseplants. They have houseplants in this place?
So when they were showing Dwight gathering his materials to make his awesome egg BLT sandwich, is that stuff at the Savior's Complex, or where we understand that he's actually raiding the kingdom in Alexandria for his tomatoes and his lettuce? And I felt like that they have these operations going at Savior's Complex too.
I think so, yeah. I mean, it would make sense.
So are they self-sufficient, and all the stuff they're stealing from the others are just for, like, the grasshopper class?
Seems like it, yeah.
Someone made a point that this season is essentially a much more violent version than of Disney's Bug's Life.
Okay.
With Dennis Hopper, his grasshopper being essentially Negan, and whoever the fuck was the ant is Rick. Anyway, so Dwight commands Daryl to eat, and Daryl refuses, and he goes, "You're the one that got your friend killed," which earns Daryl throwing a shit sandwich back at him. And he says, "You should be dead, but Negan's taking a shine to you." He gives him a Polaroid of Glenn's head being obliterated. If you didn't see that, it's definitely a picture of Glenn's head.
It's real dark. I had to turn the brightness up on my...
It's tough, yeah. And it turns out that what actually can break a Daryl is Roy Orbison's classic crying.
Yep.
Except for it doesn't actually break him, so never mind.
Right.
LOL.
It just makes him vomit.
Yeah.
and lie face down in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it seemed to me like this is the song that did it for Dwight, right? You can see Dwight outside, and a lot of these lyrics apply directly to Dwight in his current situation as well.
And Daryl.
And Daryl, yeah, as well. But I like that. I mean, he's kind of trying to read Daryl and figure out the moment to strike here, and he does deliver a pretty satisfactory blow here, but it's not quite enough.
But Dwight thinks the time is nigh, so he brings Daryl back to the room. I guess Daryl's room. And Negan explains for a couple of minutes about things that we already should probably figured out or knew.
Right.
Walked us through the whole situation between Tina, Dwight, and Sherry, and the meds that they needed, and how that went pear-shaped, and how Dwight came back with his tail between his legs and begged forgiveness, and the price was his super hot wife, Sherry, marrying Negan, and then Dwight getting an iron pushed against his face and scarring him up. And then everything was cool between them,
I suppose.
And Dwight is just sitting here taking all of this abuse.
Although he's given off some signals. He's given off some pretty strong body language. Oh, Dwight. Or were you talking about Daryl?
I'm talking about Dwight.
Dwight,
yeah.
Okay, yeah, he's given off some pretty strong body language. We are not totally cool, Negan.
Yeah, but Negan apparently can't read body language.
I know.
And he's oblivious to it all. And again, he is there alone with Daryl, who would just as soon kill him as spit on him, and Dwight, who I think we all understand is in the same boat, if he could just get over that. Like,
seems like it, yeah.
Like, whoever takes a swing here, I think Negan goes down and he's dead. Like, this seems pretty foolish from not to have a couple more dudes with them.
Is Fat Joey outside the room?
I think it's ridiculous, the fact that Dwight was left to kind of usher Daryl around the complex. Like, I think Daryl could beat this guy any day of the week.
Yeah.
You need like 3 or 4 of your best dudes to take care of Daryl.
Well, Daryl's been eating shit sandwiches for how long? A month?
Daryl
a year?
Grew up eating shit sandwiches in the backwoods, hiding from his fucking rapist father and abusive older brother. This is his mother's milk.
That's true.
You need 3 or 4 of your best dudes on Daryl, god damn it.
So how long of a time period do you think this episode takes place over?
It felt like days to me.
Right. But certainly it couldn't have been. It has to be weeks. It has to be
to
break Daryl.
Yeah. I mean, it's every time we saw Easy Street, I took that as a day-night cycle. There was at least a week's worth of that. So
yeah, even a week feels short. But